So here we are. Thursday night lights, South Florida. The Dolphins at home. The Ravens arriving with something to prove. If you stop and ask yourself what's really on the line, you'll find more than just a win-loss on the board. It feels like one of those pivot moments, not just for one side, but for both. Prognosis: Baltimore 2-5 versus Miami 2-6. Two teams slipping. Two teams chasing something that feels overdue. Whoever gets the W here picks up momentum. Whoever stumbles feels like the downward slope gets steeper. Both squads coming off a Week 8 win. Both itching to build a streak they haven't yet claimed this season. The Ravens bring back their star. The roar returns, and they look leaner, healthier. The Dolphins? They're desperate. The pressure is mounted. Let's talk history, because, yes, context matters. The Ravens lead the overall series 11-8. In the regular season, they have nudged ahead 9-8. But at home, Miami holds a slight edge, 6-4. That little stat says something. Home field isn't just a backdrop. It might matter more than usual in a game like this. And the last time these two met, in 2023 at M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore absolutely dominated. A 56-19 blowout. Their quarterback delivered 5 touchdowns. Perfect passer rating. It wasn't pretty if you were a Dolphin fan. It was a perfect storm for Baltimore. The chance of MVP were real. Mission accomplished, for once. And that memory lingers. The Dolphins haven't forgotten. Their last trip down to Miami? 2021, Thursday night. And the Dolphins stood tall. A 22-10 defensive performance. They blitzed, kept the Ravens superstar under pressure, kept him in check. That proves, yes, Miami can do this. They have done this. So when you ask, can the Dolphins rise tonight? The answer isn't just wishful. It's grounded in what they showed before. All that, and now the stakes sharpen. For Baltimore, a win means we're back. A loss means we're still lost. They just beat someone in Week 8, the only team in the AFC North to do so. And it felt like they might be turning a corner. But corners aren't enough. They need straight lines. They need consistency. They have 3 straight road games now. They need to show they can travel, handle the heat, handle the pressure, handle the noise. Especially since road record is something of a blemish. They've got to prove they're still warriors away from home. For Miami, the pressure is bleak. They've got 3 games before their bye in Week 12. How they perform in those games will matter. Our change is coming. Our respectability and hope on the line. Their players and coaches are in the spotlight. The margin for error is tiny. They just got to win in Atlanta. Good on them. But starting 1-6 prior to that means the hole is deep. They need to dig out. This game gives them a chance. And if they fail, that hole gets deeper, darker maybe. So what are the narrative threads to pull? Let's pick them apart. First, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens' dynamo, the guy who changes everything just by being on the field. He missed 3 games with a hamstring injury. He's back. But coming back is never easy. His mindset is important. He said he isn't worried about rust. That's what practice is for, he said. It is not about Miami or me going down there to Florida and playing. It really doesn't matter. I just want to play football, have fun, and get a win. That's all I am focused on. That is so Jackson. Calm, focused, hungry. But the fact remains, 3 weeks off. Short week. Big game. Road. In Florida. With family and friends around. Expect him to want to light it up. But also expect rust. Expect the tempo to be slightly off. The question, how sharp will he be in his return? Will the system around him pick up speed? Will the Ravens lean on him heavily or game plan conservatively at first? That answer will shape how dominant this Ravens offense can be. Next, can Baltimore return to being a real road force? They're 0-2 on the road this year. That's not what you expect from a team with playoff aspirations. And now they face 3 straightaway games starting with this one. That's a major test. If they can't deliver, the narrative shifts from playoff contender to also ran. They've traveled well in the past, but traveling well in the past doesn't guarantee it now. One bad outing and the road becomes a burden, not a dimension of challenge. Third, the Ravens' defense. Early in the season, things looked shaky. They were giving up more than 35 points per game over first 5 weeks. Then something clicked. Over the last 2 games, they've yielded an average of just 16.5 points. Big drop. What changed? The trade that brought in Alohi Gilman to the secondary. That move gave them better balance, freed up Kyle Hamilton to roam and show his versatility. Also, the rookie Malachi Starks stepping up. The Dolphins' offense? They ranked 28th in total offense. So this sets up. Can Baltimore's improving defense stay aggressive, stay alert, and keep Miami's offense limited? Because if they do, the Ravens win this game. On the Miami side, offense worries. The production is low, the ranking is poor. They've got to find answers. They've got to conjure some spark. The home crowd will expect it. The players feel it. It isn't just a single game. This feels like a crossroads. Can they pull themselves up? Or will they sink further? Now some X factors, because you always want those in the mix. For Baltimore, CB Nate Wiggins. He's got the only 2 interceptions the Ravens have. And the Dolphins' QB Tua Tagovailoa is tied for the league lead with 10 interceptions. Wiggins has been shadowing top receivers. With Tyreek Hill out for the season, knee injury, Jalen Waddle is Miami's #1 guy. Waddle's having a strong season. 35 catches, 504 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Waddle-Wiggins matchup? Big. If Wiggins holds up, if he makes a play or 2, the Ravens tilt field in their favor. If Waddle finds space, if Miami gets him involved early, it opens things up. Also for Baltimore, Zay Flowers. Homecoming. He's their leading receiver, caught at least 5 passes in 4 straight games. Jackson even said Flowers will be popping out of his skin to play in front of family and friends. The chemistry between Jackson and Flowers deserves attention. Expect Jackson to look his way under the lights, especially given the moment. On Miami's side, you watch for how their offense comes together, how Tagovailoa handles the pressure, how the offense balances run and pass, how the line protects him, how the defense responds to a Ravens team re-energized, how the coaching staff adjusts mid-game, because make no mistake, this will likely be a chess match. And yes, the environment matters. South Florida in October at night, crowd buzzing. For Miami, it's a chance to feed off home energy, to bring something extra. For Baltimore, traveling in the heat, into the noise, into a team that's desperate distraction? Maybe. Focus. Vital. What about the narrative of redemption? For the Ravens, last year's blowout win at home, 56-19, over Miami is on their side. They know how to beat this team. But that game was at home, and it was dominant. But football seasons shift quickly. The Dolphins, early this season, looked broken. Now they've won 1. Can that 1 become 2? That changes things. Changes belief. And for the Dolphins, if they lose this one badly, the scrutiny rises. The whispers of major changes rise. The locker room tensions may surface. For the players, the staff, the fans, they feel that. It's not abstract. It's real. Let's dive deeper. What does a win mean for each? For Baltimore, reaffirmation. The belief can grow. The players will feel confident. The staff will say, see, we're back. The fans will say, we told you. ABD for the playoffs, especially in the AFC. Every game matters. This game matters. It sends a message, we're threat. We're healthy. We're ready. For Miami, a win means life. It means hope. It means we did it when we had to. It means maybe we're not done yet. Maybe the squad can rally. Maybe the coaching staff can steady things. Maybe the locker room bonding can improve. The win in Atlanta gave them some cover. This game gives them credibility. It gives them an opportunity. A loss. For Baltimore, not disaster, but damage. The road record remains awful. The hype dips. The chatter starts. Are they really contenders? The schedule doesn't get easier. For Miami, more trouble. Deeper hole. Less margin. Whispered calls for changes. The pressure tightens. The mood sours. So what do we watch for in the game itself? Early strikes. Who gets the first big plays? Momentum swings matter early. If Baltimore hits a big pass, a big play, gets first down rhythm, they'll climb. If Miami gets an early stop, a turnover, a big reception from Waddle, they'll surge. Turnovers. How each side protects the ball and takes it away. With Tagovailoa and his interception count, and Wiggins lurking, that becomes especially important. Third down conversions. Who stays on the field? Who kills the other's drives? That often separates win versus loss. For Miami's offense, being efficient, timely. For Baltimore's defense, making stops, forcing punts, limiting explosive plays. Special teams, don't ignore it. Field position matters in games like this, especially if they're low-scoring or tight. A missed field goal, a bad punt, a reversed return could matter. Weather, humidity, could play a role, especially late. Fatigue and depth. For the Ravens, 3 straight road games start now. Depth matters. If they lean on Jackson heavily, and he isn't fully sharp, that could catch up. For Miami, if they're chasing the game, chasing momentum, they might open themselves up. The mental state, more furious than calm. Let's also talk tone and temperature. This game has heat, not just from the climate, but from the storyline. The Ravens trying to reassert. The Dolphins fighting for respect. The home crowd. The national stage. The spotlight. For fans of Miami, this is one you mark. For Baltimore, this is one you cannot let slide. Look at the matchups. On offense, Ravens strong QB. Dynamic receiver, improving O-line. On defense, they're finding their groove. The Dolphins' offense need to find chemistry, need to protect the ball, need to hit Waddle, need to force the Ravens' defense to adjust. On the Dolphins' defense side, they need to pressure Jackson. They need to rattle him early. They need to replicate that 2021 performance at home when they blitzed, when they sacked him 4 times, when they held him to 238 yards and pickoff. If they can do that again well, then they give themselves a chance.